Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am really happy to have you here because today we're doing a video that I am really excited about, and it's probably going to be a bit of a longer one. So I hope you're excited because today we're going to be talking about, all about begonias. We're going to talk about propagation, different types of begonias, my favorite begonias. I'm going to be showing you a lot of different begonias and different care instructions. So I'm just really excited because begonias are definitely my favorite genus of plants ever, period. They are my favorite thing to collect, my favorite thing to buy. I was first exposed to begonias, like cool begonias, I think, through Betsy Begonia. She really opened my eyes to lots of different kinds of begonias. First one I ever really liked was Begonia Amphioxus. This is my Begonia Amphioxus. It was much bigger, but I sold I had a big plant, but I cut it and sold it to help us out in our move. Currently what she looks like, she is very cute. And in this video, I'm gonna be pretty much running through a bunch of really cool begonias that I have that I love. Talking about some begonias I think I'd like to have someday. So before we get into all of that stuff and more fun, pretty things, please make sure you hit like and subscribe. Maybe you've been binge watching my videos and you just forgot to hit that subscribe button. Welcome to the community. I also have YouTube channel memberships, which you can check out. They're only $5 a month. If you're having a hard time making houseplant friends, maybe you don't have any in your area, my Discord server has over 200 plant parents and many people who just want to talk to you about plants all of the time. And then other things as well, such as mental health and other really fun things. And we're finally getting back into the swing of things in the Discord server. And I want to thank all of my members for their patience in the month that I took off of everything. So come check out the Discord server. It's $5 a month and you get to talk about really cool stuff, do trades. It's a good time. But yeah, so this is the Begonia Amphioxus, and this one's really cool. But this is probably one of I love this begonia and I will always own it because I think it looks very cool. Oh, it's putting out 3 new leaves right now. I don't know if you can see, but there are 3 new ones coming in. This is a new leaf right here. That thing right there, kind of farther down there. That little pokey thing. Right there, that one, my finger's touching. I used to really not like begonias because when you think of begonias, you think of oh, your grandma's begonias. Or at least that's how I thought of it. For me, it was never begonias were never an option to collect because I thought that they were stupid and boring. But that's because I didn't know, okay? So I'm hoping to convert some of you today to becoming begonia collectors. Gosh, I was trying to pick out which ones to show you. I was just gonna show you guys 5 cool begonias, and then my list grew to 10, and then I was I'm just gonna show you guys all my begonias. Not all, but almost all of them. I only have begonias that I really like right now. I did sell some that I felt I should collect just because other people collected them. I only have begonias right now that I'm really obsessed with. I'll show you another one that you've probably seen before. This is my Begonia Maculata Whitey. I have had this plant for 2.5 years, and it is very beautiful and perfect. I love her so much. This stem right here is so funky. But we're getting some new leaves, which is good because it's been just nothing. And I think it's because it was in a north-facing window. These 2 stems are doing amazing, like that. But this is what the back of the plant looks like. It has these really wonderful red sparkly leaves. They're just very nice. Oh, it's so good. Look at that red. Freaking love it. This is a very easy care begonia. I keep this one outside of my grow tent. It just exists in my living room on a shelf directly over there. It does get some pretty bright facing south light occasionally. It's a little crusty and crinkly because it's just one of my common plants, and you know what, that dead stuff doesn't bother the plant, so it doesn't bother me. This guy's great. I just water him when he gets super duper droopy. And look, we actually have a brand new stem coming in right here. This is our stem right here. Our rhizome's down there. Our petiole is this, and this is our leaf. Begonias, you can propagate them, and I'll demonstrate this later, but you can propagate begonias from any point of the plant. You can propagate from just the rhizome. You can literally just split a rhizome in half. You can take a stem cutting, which is generally how you propagate plants. You cut from right here. You can also just take a propagation cutting, and you can even cut a leaf in half. And as long as it has this main vein down the middle, you can propagate from just a leaf cutting. Here's another begonia I have. This is what your begonia will look like when it needs to be watered. It will do this. It's very, very dramatic. And then you'll water it and it will stick straight back up again. It's very silly. This is what I believe is Begonia barcelui. But I could be mistaken. It could just be a random begonia hybrid. This is a different begonia than the one I just showed you. I believe this is a rhizomatous begonia. The other one I showed you was a cane begonia. This begonia right here does not have a stem. It only has a rhizome, petioles, and then a leaf. So you would take a cutting from this begonia, like right here, or you could just take the leaf and put the leaf in moss or whatever you'd like water. Technically, its stem is way down here in the middle of the plant. But oh, look at this baby leaf coming in. Look at how nice. It looks so nice. Yeah, but these little things down here where it's connecting to is the rhizome. Begonias are great too because they tell you when they need water. Here is another much smaller rhizomatous begonia. This is my Begonia Kit Kat or Begonia Tiger. I get them constantly mixed up, but this is one of my favorite begonias. If I ever happen to kill one, I will instantly replace it. These things are cool. There's a lot of different varieties of them. You can get them where their leaves come out like this, or you can get them where the leaves come out and they're red. How cool. I love it. $5. Oh, I should tell you. Okay, one second. Costa Farms sent me directly one of these Begonia Maculata Whitey. There are 3 plants in here. This is one of them. It died. But there's 2 plants in here that are currently alive. One of them I bought for $15 from a Lowe's. The other one, Costa Farms sent me directly 2 years ago when they sent me a little package to my front door. This one was $4.98 from Lowe's. This one was a bit more expensive for my taste. I think I took the tag off, but I want to say this was like $30. It could have been $25 or even $21.98, but it was definitely in the $20 to $30 range. And that's because it's such a big begonia, and when it's not like deflated like this, it's very large. Some begonias used to be a lot more expensive than they are now. Another cheap begonia that I have, it's gonna be this begonia. This is Begonia Fedor. I couldn't find the name of this begonia for a long time. This is another rhizomatous begonia. I paid $5.98 for this one. And I got this from a Home Depot, I think. And if it wasn't Home Depot, it was Lowe's. This is a Rex begonia, I'm sorry. This is a Rex begonia. I'll have everything correct on the screen. Don't worry, I'm not gonna tell you information that's wrong. This is a begonia I loved for such a long time, and then I didn't buy it. And I could never find one again. And so now whenever I find one, if I don't have one, I buy it. But I've presently had this one for like 8 months. It has been a long time. And I didn't know what it was called forever until one day one of my subscribers was like, hey, that's Begonia Fedor. And then when you Google Begonia Fedor, you get this. So we got an ID. This is Begonia Fedor, it's wonderful. And this is a plant that I'm about to show you that used to be very cheap, but is now pretty expensive to get a hold of. And that is gonna be the Begonia Cleopatra, or Cleopatra, something like that. I love this begonia. I believe that this is also a Rex begonia. I don't know, I'll figure it out, but look at that. This is so beautiful. I first saw this one ever from my friend on Instagram, Volutinarch. They used to be Jungle, Portland, Northwest, and she had this, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So I was able to find it. I think I paid like $5 for this, and now it sells for like 20 to 30, sometimes more depending on who you're trying to get it from. Love this begonia. I hope to always be growing this begonia. I do grow this one in my grow tent. I also grow this one in my grow tent. These two I've just found are a little bit more picky with water. Like, they will be pretty darn dramatic, and because they're smaller plants, they do need a little bit more care. So I keep them in my grow tent so that way they can last longer in between waterings and I'm not accidentally killing one of my 2 favorite begonias. And you're gonna notice all these begonias are like my favorite begonias, and that's why I have them. People always tell me, Ashley, you call everyone your best friend. And it's like, well, listen, I just have a lot of favorites. There's no shame in having more than one favorite, and I have 32 favorite begonias. So this begonia has a really cool story. This guy, he's super, super sad. I'll have the name right here on the screen. I can never remember the name of this one. But this was one of my first begonias I ever got, and I got it from Botanicals. You're gonna hear me talk about Botanicals a lot because they're the only place I really buy my begonias from. They're amazing. This is like the most beautiful leaf I've ever seen in my life, and I'm gonna say that about every begonia, and don't call me out on it. This begonia I got, and we have been on a journey. I kept this begonia in water for a 1.5 years. And then one day I was like, hey, I should probably just take this out and put it in moss. And if it dies, it dies. And if it lives, it lives. And it lived. And then it got really, really big and beautiful. And then we moved and then it got sad. And now we're in like 3 years later. And it's my oldest begonia that I have in my whole collection. It's one of the first ones I ever ordered. It is still amazing, and if it ever dies, I will just buy another one from Botanicals. But I'm trying very hard to not let it die because the specific plant I have just had for so long at this point. We're connected forever, and I don't know why it would randomly die on me, but here it is, and it's beautiful. Another one of my oldest plants is gonna be this Begonia Jehoiaii. I got this plant in the order after I got that one. If I'm correct, I could be mistaken, and I could have gotten this one in the same order as that one. And this is the top half of the plant that I had. The bottom half is in a separate thing. The plant got so large, I snipped it in half. Now I have 2 of them. I considered selling it, and I've had people ask me to sell locally, but I just can't. This is by far, like, of all my favorites, this is towards the top of my favorites list. It just has these incredibly beautiful, sparkly back of the leaves with these crazy red veins. Like, look at that. That looks like it's like disease with some alien virus. We're also getting a new leaf coming in finally on this one. We've been waiting for quite a long time. He's had to really root out in his little cup. I have him in half of like a deli cup. And he's doing good. You can see all these little spider-like roots. Begonia roots are super duper fine. Whenever people repot begonias, I recommend not to break up the root ball at all. Straight up, just take it out of the pot. It'll be like this. It'll be like a plug. You can see how healthy all these little roots are. All these little fine hairs are all roots, and they're all very precious. Begonias get mad if you mess with their roots, so I just tell people, just take it, add more moss around it, or pot it in soil, leave this in here. Botanicals does the same thing. They, I guess I should introduce Botanicals if you guys don't know who they are. Botanicals are my friends, Anya and David, and they run this amazing begonia company called Botanicals. They're expanding to like rare plants as well, so you can get rare monstera, rare philodendron, other things for actually a pretty decent price. Some of their prices are expensive, but that's because how small businesses work. They have to source something, and then they have to make their profit back, and once they've made their profit back, then you can decrease the price of something. We've seen Botanicals do it with everything. They used to sell Darth and Julaus. These are begonias for super expensive, and now they're like 15, 20 bucks because they have thousands of them. Botanicals is really great. Their whole mission statement is to like make plants accessible so that you don't have to try to source them from some illegal place off in another country. We want to keep plants safe. We want to make sustainable house plants. That's Botanicals' whole thing, and I love them. And they're 2 of the best people I've genuinely ever met. They're so nice and wonderful. Not an ad for Botanicals. I've been purchasing from Botanicals for a long time. I've since done some work with them. They've flown me out twice and put me up in Seattle to go see their shop, and I just really like them. Botanicals is my absolute default place. People will say, oh, I don't know where to buy begonias from because they're so delicate. I don't want them to die in the mail. I can guarantee you that Botanicals will send you a good begonia, and if it dies in the mail, they will replace it. For me, they've replaced a replacement before. They have someone who sits and responds to like every single message that they get sent. Like, that's that person's job, is just to like talk with customers. And there's some people that they have like these really wonderful customer relationships with. They're based in Tacoma, so if you're in Tacoma or Seattle or the Washington area, you can actually set up like a shopping appointment to either go to their warehouse or their small store, buy in person. So that's something, but that's Botanicals. I love Anya and David very, very much. Outside of work relationships, I'd consider them friends. I just think that they're really cool, and they're where I get all these begonias. In my Botanicals order, my original one was this, and then my other one, I think, but yeah. Botanicals does it like this too, where they sometimes will do dirty moss, like a dirty moss combo where you add soil and moss together, and it gives the moss a little bit more nutrients than it would be just like on its own. And then on top of that, sometimes they take these little plugs and they just stick them right in soil. They do, like, Anya will do whatever she feels like is best for the plants. So does Maggie. Maggie also is a Botanicals person. Maggie's very cool. I love you, Maggie. But yeah, this is Begonia Jehoiaii, and it is absolutely iconic. Here is a begonia that I've taken a couple propagations of. This is the Begonia species Montauk. It's small right now because I have other propagations, but this was a begonia I did in a trade with them for the Ilsamanii. I sent them my Ilsamanii, one of them, and this is the one that they sent me back. It's the one I requested. This is just one of my favorite begonias, probably like top 5 out of everything I own. I just love how they look when they come in too. They're so spooky looking. My favorite begonia in my, second favorite begonia in my whole collection. This is the Begonia species Temuyuk. And this is so cool. Let's get some more light on this. So this guy turned blue in the light. I'll put a photo here, a really cool photo I took before of this plant. So freaking nice. And I love this begonia. He's starting out again. He flowered, and for some reason, in my experience, when begonias flower, they kind of like died back. It's just not kosher. So he's coming back in. He looks very nice. He was a very small plant for a little while, but he's got 3 different growth points right now. So I'm excited to see where this guy takes us in the future. But wow. That is some outstanding color. These are pretty inexpensive on Botanicals website right now. I think they're like $20-ish. Here's 2 begonias that look really similar, but are not similar at all. This is Begonia Dark Leo. This is Begonia Raja. They have kind of similar, you know, vibes, but they're completely different. This one I got from Botanicals. I got it as a very small little seedling guy, or mini propagation. It wasn't a seedling, it didn't come from seed, I don't think. I had a green Leo too, but way back when I came back from Botanicals this last time, one of the TSA agents flipped my box over, something happened to it, and the whole box got like thrown around everywhere, and like 30 different begonias just got freaking tossed everywhere. It was horrible. And the green Leo died slowly over time from damage, and the dark Leo survived. This is Begonia Raja. This was sent to me by one of my members, and it's a pretty big plant. It's gonna be kind of hard for you guys to like see how big it is, but there are leaves on leaves on leaves on leaves in here. And this started as one single leaf propagation that they sent me. They grew it out to be like a couple leaves, and then they sent it to me, and I took some plants, some cuttings to give to some other people and make my own propagations. But I've let it pretty much grow back in, and it is getting very large. He's doing really good. This is the same moss he's always been in. I fertilized this with liquid earth. Liquid earth is the fertilizer I do fertilize pretty much everything with. If you want to give liquid earth a try, you can use code plantme_25. I fertilize all of my begonias with liquid earth, and they all do really well. Like, you can see how small the first leaf was down here. Well, they were actually way smaller than that, but I took cuttings of those ones. And now we're like big mode leaf. Also directly supports my channel. So you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone there if you like to support my channel and get really good fertilizer that lasts for freaking ever. Love liquid earth, but yeah. Begonia Raja, really, really cool. This is a begonia that Botanicals sent me, and I don't know what it is. I will have a name on screen for you, but it is so neat. They sent me this as an extra when I did the trade with them. So this came with the Montauk, I believe. And this thing is so cool. I didn't quite love it at first because I'd never seen it before. I had no experience with like what this could even be. But it's a very dark, velvety kind of vibe. It kind of gives me Darth Vadariana vibes, even though it's not at all a Darth Vadariana or related to it in the slightest. I just love the silver. This kind of silver stuff you see on plants, this is called Blister Variegation. It's like 3M kinda, and it makes a little, it's like, okay, so it's like air gets trapped in the upper levels of the leaf, which causes our eyes to perceive a reflection, this silver reflection. It's also a pattern gene type of variegation, which means it's gonna occur on all the leaves, but it's really cool because it's 2 types. It's pattern gene reflection variegation. So freaking neat. Yeah, whereas this right here is just pattern gene. This is pattern gene reflective. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Pattern gene blister, pattern gene. Very cool. We love science. We're getting to kind of my upper favorites here, and I can't tell you what's happening to this leaf right now. I think it just got mad when I moved, but this is the Begonia Darth Malachisticta. That's what I call it. Its real name is just Begonia Malachisticta hybridized with Darth Vadariana, and this is what you get. And you can see how blue this is kind of coming across. It's kind of like purple. Wow, that's crazy. That looks so good, oh my god. Full adult mature leaf. This one just, we moved, and so it just got a little mad, but this is the new leaf that's coming in right here. It is so nice, but I just really love this kind of like blue purple vibe of the mature leaf. And I like to call it Darth Maul. I think it's neat. There's only 2 begonias that have Star Wars names. One is Begonia Amidala. The other is Begonia Darth Vadariana. I think it'd be cool if we had a Darth Maul, because it's literally Darth Malichisticta, Darth Maul. God, that is so cool. Anyways, love this one. Oh, and then the back of it, look at that. Why wouldn't you like, you don't like begonias? You're gonna tell me right now you don't like that. Look me in the eyes and tell me you don't like that. You're liars. Here's another one of my favorites. I used to really want the red Chloristicta, but I'm pretty happy with my green. I think in general, I might like this one more at this point. This particular begonia has been with me for a year and a half now, and it started as a teeny little cutting I got from a guy in Salt Lake City when I went to go visit Harley once. And it has grown in so spectacularly, and for a while it like wouldn't grow, and I was like, why isn't it growing? And then I was being stupid because I just needed to repot it, and once I repotted it, it's just been throwing out these really beautiful leaves. They all look so good. The back of the leaves also look very nice. You can see how small it started out. It was like this little size, like this little leaf right here, for so long. And then we got this guy, this one, and then we got a big jump. We got this one, and then we got this one, and then we got this one, and they're just getting bigger and prettier and more perfect. Very happy. You can see how nice the condensation is sitting in the cup. That's kind of what you want. Whenever people are like, how wet should my moss be? This. Just moist, just a perfect amount of moistness for the roots to grow in. All right, we're really climbing to the top 3 here. I know I've said already twice before I have tops, but these ones are just so cool. This is my Begonia species sarawak, and it's a little sad right now because it was in a terrarium. Oh, look at that. Okay. Gosh, it is so cool. I really didn't think we'd get it to look that nice in this light. I thought I was gonna have to take a photo, but yeah, this is Begonia species sarawak. I have tried twice now to hybridize this one with my temuyuk. I tried male to female and then male to female. Both times failed. I have like months of footage of me trying to do it. Eventually, I will do something about it, but I wanted to call it, I'm not gonna say, just in case I can do it eventually. I really like the name, but I had a really cool name for it and everything. And I got seeds, they just didn't, they weren't viable. So you can imagine how cool that would be, right? But this used to be very, very big. I'm gonna have to figure out why. I think it really likes to climb like this. Like it really likes to crawl. And I had it in a terrarium where it was crawling, and then I had to repot it because we moved, and it just hasn't been really happy since. And when it flowered, I feel like it got really stressed out, but I'm working on it. I don't know, it's just really nice. Check that, like what the heck? That's so cool. There's a begonia that's similar to the species sarawak, and it's called Begonia lichenora. And that one's also very cool. It's like a smaller version of this, very similar. I think it's less expensive as well, but you literally can't beat that. I'm not editing it to do that. This footage is unedited. Oh, it is actually putting out a baby at the top. Gosh, that is just sick. If you guys, how can you not like begonias? How? Anyways, you can get this from Botanicals as well. That's where I got mine. We've arrived at the final begonia. This one's given me some trouble. I have considered buying another one from Botanicals. This one was a gift from Maggie, not specifically from Botanicals, but from Maggie. And this is Begonia bearmenses. This is a very small one. I will put a photo on the screen of a big one. Wow. This is bearmenses. It is very cool. To me, it just gives me the long lobe vibes of a Spiritus Sancti. I don't particularly love the Spiritus Sancti. I especially don't love just like the pointless hype behind it. Like, it is a very cool plant, do not get me wrong, but people just like it because of the fact that it is a Spiritus Sancti and not because they actually like the plant, which is stupid, and I really don't vibe with that. This is like what I would prefer. Like, I want a full-size one of these eventually. I'm trying to grow mine in. It's got a new leaf coming in. I don't know if you can see this little guy is brand new. He's coming in. I think I might just need to repot it. I don't know. He got so sad What is, oh, it's the moss, okay. Thought it was like a dead leaf. He got so sad. This is one of the ones that got thrown around at the airport. And so he's been kind of struggling ever since. And then when we moved, he was in a Tupperware for like 3 days. And so that also kind of stressed him out, but it is so beautiful. It's by far, okay, I'm gonna show you the final begonia after this, which is my favorite begonia in my whole collection. Like actually, it's probably, I'll give you a top 5 in a minute when I have time to think about it, but this is my second favorite begonia in my whole collection. Begonia Bearmenses. It might be Bearmenses, but I think it's Notho. Okay, this final begonia is beyond awesome. And yes, you can simp over it. I will allow it. This is Begonia Prometheus. Why they stopped at Promethea and not Prometheus, I can't tell you why they did that. It would have been so much cooler. Begonia Prometheus, like, I don't know, I really like the names of certain plants. It used to be known as Becarii, I believe, and it has been reclassified. And I paid a pretty penny for this begonia. This one I didn't get from Botanicals, but I think Botanicals offers it now. And I think I got this from and I was really pleased with it. I really like it. You can check them out. I'll also link them in the description. This leaf has been slowly coming in over the last month and a half. By far the slowest growing begonia I've ever had, but by far the coolest one I've ever had. This one takes the cake. If I could only keep one begonia, it would be this one. And that is the Begonia Prometheus. I mean Promethea. Oh my gosh, it is so cool. It is so freaking cool. This leaf coming in red is just bizarre. And then the back of it, it's so sparkly. Do you guys see that? How sparkly that is. I have it in this cup for support. It seems to be like the sarawak. It kind of wants to climb. You can see it's actually got a new leaf coming in right there. Here's what a hardened leaf looks like. I'm just gonna tip it. Hopefully I don't spill. Oh, of course the sun's going away. He's a little crispy. Again, we had to move, so the begonias aren't the happiest. This one also gets pretty blue, but it's definitely more of like a green kind of a vibe. This guy. It's so good. Oh, I freaking love it. This new leaf that's coming in has been hardening for a long time. It is so cool. I love it more than every begonia I have ever had. And again, I think it used to be called Begonia Jehoiaii, and now they call it Begonia Prometheus, which is ostensibly a way better name by far. I could just stare at it. It's also a very hardy leaf, like it's very thick. It's a very nice leaf. Yeah, he just definitely wants to climb. He wants to climb for sure. Like he kind of just collapses when he's outside of his cup. But let me get a better look at him out here. So here's my hand for scale. It's very large. Oh, so cool. Definitely the coolest one in my entire collection. I'd say if I had to give you, like if I had to give you a top 3, right? No, top 5. If I had to give you a top 5, this is number 1, this guy. Oh my God, it is so sick. Sometimes I just take it out and just stare at it. Gosh, it's so cool. Definitely Bearmenses. Next favorite. Oh, it's like a toss up for the next one. I'll say Jehoiaii, I think. It's very cool. If you get up really close, it has these little hairs on it. Very nice. So great. Then I would say probably the Temuyuk. And then after that, it's hard. Okay, probably Sarawak. The blue one. There is a begonia called Sarawak Spot I would really like at some point, but we have our whole lives to collect plants, you guys. There's no rush. So now I'm gonna take a couple propagations for you so you can see like how I would propagate something. Okay, I'm gonna put them on this, and I'm gonna be putting all my propagations into moss in a plastic cup with no drainage. I don't like drainage, I'll be honest. It's not the best, but I'm gonna be putting all my propagations under there just so you can see. It's my husband!
Hello.
Chris is gonna be my assistant. He's gonna hold the plants for me so that I can propagate them. Sorry, I had to clean my glasses. Don't clean your glasses like that, it's bad. We're gonna demonstrate first on this Begonia Maculata Whitey. He's just gonna hold it for me. Where did I put my little guys
Do you
at?
want me in camera?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You don't have to stand in the camera if you don't want to. There we go, okay. It's gonna wiggle, you guys, so.
There we go, okay.
Yeah, so this is our little Begonia Maculata Whitey, and here you can see the whole stem, okay? This is a stem. This right here, this little dude, is called a petiole, and then we have our leaf, which is an S. And each of these little spots here, where you're seeing these little things, is a node. And each of these things is where the plant can grow. The cool thing about begonias is they don't need a node to grow, which is so cool. You just need any part of the begonia and it will just like grow. So, but I'm gonna use the node for example, because every other plant ever you need a node pretty much. So we'll cut it like this. And now we have like a whole new plant. I think you can put that down now. We have this entirely new plant. I could also take a cutting right here. I'm not going to do it, but I could. And actually I'll do it, it's for science. We'll just take a bunch of these. Will you hold onto this leaf with one of your hands very carefully?
Oh, the leaf?
The leaf.
Like this?
With like this way. Yeah, just carefully hold it so it doesn't fall. You can touch it, just very carefully. Thank you. So you could also take a cutting right here, and that would be perfectly viable. Okay, I'm gonna trade you. You can take this. And then...
So is this just like done plant?
No, I'm gonna make a new plant out of it. And then you have this. And another thing you can do is called a circle cut. And I learned this from Maggie at Botanicals. And you can do this, which is very neat. So we're gonna take our little scissors. We're just gonna cut in a circle like this. Around, very gently. And now you have 2 more propagations. The reason they do it like this is because this one's a really strong one, but this one can still prop because it has this big middle vein down the back of it. That's what you need. So now you have 2 more propagations, and you can put these into moss. You can also put them into soil. I don't personally recommend it because it's kind of hard, but you can put them in moss and water, in my opinion, is like the best. Other people recommend like lava rock stuff. You have a big fat nose. Put your hand down.
Mine?
Yes. Thank you. You can also put them into lava rock, which is something a lot of people recommend. But yeah, that's little propagation, guys. Those are all the different ways to propagate a begonia. There's more. You could do a rhizome propagation, but I don't really recommend it. It's just like a really deep stem propagation. Just slowly getting closer. But yeah, that's it. Here, you can be done now. Thank you. That's all I require. But that's it. That's like the whole begonia video. It's a good time. But other than that, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video and being here. I did the begonia video. It's been done. Now you can stop asking for it. It's like my #1 requested video that I do right now. But that's it. I fertilize with liquid earth. It's just liquid earth. I will link it in the description. That is a super awesome way to help support my channel. I get a little kickback every time you guys use my code, which is plantme_25. Another way to support my channel is to join the YouTube channel memberships. They cost $5 a month, and if you don't have any plant friends in the plant community, I really recommend the Discord. There's a lot of really wonderful people in my Discord who put a lot of time into being there, and come hang out. But other than that, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I hope you like begonias. Please let me know, a comment down below what your favorite begonia was that I had. If you have begonias. Begonias I did not talk about in this video include any outdoor begonia. I do not know how to care for those. There are begonias that go in the ground outside and can be outside all year long. They're perennials and I don't know them. I don't know her. Don't ask me about those. Maybe ask your grandma about those. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching my video. See you later. Have a good day. Happy holidays. Okay, bye. I hope you like my begonias. I hope this wasn't boring. Please watch this video. If you like this video, share it. More people need to know about these cool begonias, and no one talks about begonias, and they're really cool. Okay, bye. Thanks for being here, Illy. Lol.